Are you feeling the Monday blues? Don't. Let's rebrand the day. Instead of dreading the start of a work week, let's anticipate a new opportunity to be great and to do great things. This Monday also finds us mere hours away from a new month. March into that month with optimism, knowing no obstacle is too great for your will. But we're not talking about blind faith here. Knowledge brings power, so we have news to share. All work and no play makes everybody dull, so we're dancing to the reggae beat. This is Jamaica Magazine, your Jamaica Magazine. I'm Audrey Williams. Welcome.
In order, under the Disaster Risk Management Act, you must wear a mask in all public access places and in public transportation. If you wear a mask and I wear a mask, we are all safer.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Monday, February 28. Government is embarking on a major project to curtail crime and violence in vulnerable schools and communities across Jamaica. The Violence Prevention in Targeted Vulnerable Communities and Schools in Jamaica program will be spearheaded by the Ministry of National Security. It's receiving $7 million in funding support from the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang signed an agreement formalizing the arrangement on Friday with Chargé d'Affaires at the U.S. Embassy in Jamaica, John McIntyre. The initiative seeks to enhance the relationship between at-risk youth and members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, particularly the JCF's Community Safety and Security Branch. The Ministry of Education and Youth will provide support for school-based activities, and the Justice Ministry will facilitate synergy with its child diversion and restorative justice programs. Dr. Chang says the agreement is intended to take a completely different path in addressing the chronic causes of crime and violence in Jamaica.
The essence of the security plan is to coordinate the agencies of government to deliver to the at-risk population the services that will improve their standing by restoring their dignity, giving them hope, and allowing them to achieve some success in life.
The Department of Correctional Services, DCS, has secured another 2-year partnership to provide inmates and correctional officers with scholarships to pursue degree programs. The first signing was in 2020 for 5 full scholarships. A memorandum of understanding was recently signed by the DCS, the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean, and Stand Up for Jamaica to provide 6 scholarships this year. These recipients will go on to pursue an associate degree in business administration. They include 2 inmates and 1 correctional officer each from the St. Catherine and South Camp Adult Correctional Centers. Minister of State in the Ministry of National Security Xavier Main says the partnership supports the DCS's program of reintegration through the provision of educational training.
It is through opportunities like these where persons who would have committed a breach of one law or the other would have committed themselves and thereafter they would have been confined. This opportunity gives them a chance to redeem themselves so that, particularly for the inmates that is, so that when their time would have come to an end, they are in a position to move back into the society, and it gives them a greater ability to fit, to reintegrate.
This ongoing partnership signifies our commitment to higher education and rehabilitation for inmates in our care, as well as the importance of high quality welfare of the officers within our institutions.
Government is fully funding the return of Jamaican students who were in Ukraine when conflict broke out between that country and Russia last week. On Friday, Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith reported that government managed to make arrangements for all the students to get to Poland, where further preparations were being made for their return to Jamaica. She says the administration will underwrite all the costs for the students' transportation and accommodation until they arrive in Jamaica, adding that there is no loan involved.
The government will underwrite the costs of subsistence in Lviv and in Poland, as well as the transportation costs for the students from Lviv to Poland, we have already publicly announced that we will be also underwriting the costs for air travel back to Jamaica. The Jamaica Tourist Board is already engaged, and this is the office in Germany, is already engaged to finalize arrangements for air travel from Poland through Frankfurt and on to Montego Bay as soon as circumstances allow.
23 students were en route over the weekend, and the minister says the Chargé d'Affaires of the Jamaican Embassy in Berlin, Denise Seeley, was dispatched to Poland to receive them upon their arrival in that country.
She will provide general support to the process, including settling the arrangements made for their accommodation and subsistence.
In the meantime, the Foreign Affairs Minister says government has been fully engaged with the students and their parents as they work feverishly to ensure their safe return home. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security has added 2 mobile units to enhance its operational management of the Overseas Employment Programme. The commissioning of the mobile units was paired with sending off 108 seasonal agricultural workers to Canada last Thursday to take up employment in Ontario and its environs. Minister of Labour and Social Security Carl Samuda says government intends to move aggressively to get a larger share of the employment market in Canada.
I know there is competition from other countries, but that competition cannot outdo the skills and commitment and hard-working nature of the Jamaican worker if we really strive to achieve market share of that region of Canada. It opens the opportunity for, instead of having 9,000 workers annually, I'm looking for increasing that to a minimum of 100% over the next 3 years, because I know that the market is there.
Canadian High Commissioner to Jamaica Emina Tudakovic encouraged the Jamaicans to know their rights while understanding how important the farm work program was to the Canadian market.
The first thing I wanted to say is how important this program is for Canada. The Seasonal Agricultural Worker Program is integral to us delivering food in Canada. And not just in Canada, it's food we export. It allows us not to rely so much on imports, but it's really, really important for us.
And finally, Jamaica is advancing its climate change policies to align with the global targets for reducing greenhouse gas emissions and preserving the earth. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Matthew Samuda, says the country is committed to the appropriate climate actions. He was addressing a recent virtual town hall on the emissions policy framework and the updated climate change policy framework.
The updated climate change policy framework signals Jamaica's commitment to global climate action, as well as concrete actions at the national and local levels.
The emissions policy framework and updated climate change policy will ensure that Jamaica maintains its obligations under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change Paris Agreement. Members of the public can submit written comments on the policies to policycomments@megjc.gov.jm until March 31, 2022. And that's it for JI's News Today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
We cracked the spine on a book clad in yellow, bearing witness to the state's grand plans for restoring health and creating wealth for Jamaicans from all walks of life. Today we look beyond the numbers to understand how the Office of the Prime Minister intends to lead that charge in the fiscal year that begins on April 1.
Jamaica is on the road to recovery, and the Office of the Prime Minister is in the driver's seat.
We are managing everything all at once, and what you can be assured of is that you have a driver who has his hands on the wheels at all times, dealing with all the challenges that we face.
In the 2022-2023 fiscal year, the Office of the Prime Minister has been allocated over $12 billion to execute its functions. Most of that is earmarked for recurrent expenditure, which includes providing operational support to various ministries, departments, and agencies of government. These include the Registrar General's Department with an allocation of $1.3 billion. When government acquired a genome sequencer machine in 2021 to test for COVID-19 variants, it was through the Chase Fund. That agency has been allocated $2.34 billion to support other critical culture, health, arts, sports, and education initiatives in the new fiscal year. The Jamaica Social Investment Fund is receiving $656.7 million to manage various community-based socio-economic infrastructure and social service projects. To ensure effective communication of the various development ventures, the Jamaica Information Service has a budget of $798.9 million, while $251.56 million is going to the Public Broadcasting Corporation of Jamaica, PBCJ, and $13.6 million is earmarked for the operations of the Violence Prevention Secretariat. The Office of the Prime Minister will also be spending $4.5 billion on 4 major capital development projects in the new fiscal year.
What we're doing in our 60th year now with the establishment of the NIDS is to ensure that every single Jamaican can be included, accounted for, and properly served with the National Identification System.
With funding from the Inter-American Development Bank, $2.36 billion is budgeted to continue implementation of the National Identification System for Economic Growth NIDS project. Some major targets for the year include commencing Phase 2 of the NIDS Solution contract, completing the power supply and redundancy for the eGov data center, and executing the NIDS communication strategy. A number of developments will take place at the RGD to support the project, including proceeding with the digitization of civil records and completing the RGD's web portal, as well as the e-wallet and the digital birth certificate. Wide area network WAN connections will also be completed for the RGD, PICA, CSO, and 9 enrollment sites, and the NIDS Production Center is being established.
And I'm hoping that by the end of the year, we would have a significant portion, if not the majority of the population, properly identified through the National Identification System.
Another significant capital expenditure is the continuation of the Integrated Community Development Project 2. The 3-year project provides access to basic urban infrastructure and services in selected economically vulnerable and socially volatile communities. This is the final year of the project, and $796.2 million is being provided to complete integrated infrastructure projects in the communities of Treadlight, Anchovy, Denham Town, Pink, and Chestnut Lanes. The funds will also cover the Greenwich Town zinc fence and sidewalk rehabilitation, as well as rehabilitation works at Hope Valley Experimental School and Augusttown Primary.
It is important that we give focus to rural communities.
Through a loan from the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, IBRD, the Office of the Prime Minister will be spending $677.45 million on the Rural Economic Development Initiative Ready 2. The Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, is managing the project, which is intended to enhance access to markets and climate-resilient approaches for rural enterprises. This year's budget allocation will go towards providing capacity building, seedlings and chemicals to agriculture and community tourism enterprises, and installing a photovoltaic system at New Forest, Manchester. It will also fund the rehabilitation of the St. Mary Multipurpose Cooperative Cold Storage and Post-Harvest Facility, as well as a honey bottling facility in Hanover.
While climate change affects all countries, the impact on small island developing states is disproportionately greater. Despite significant fiscal constraints and development challenges, Jamaica is acting.
To enhance the country's resilience to disaster and climate risks, $673 million will continue work under the Jamaica Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project in the 2022-2023 fiscal year. JSIF is also implementing this project. The 2022-2023 budget is the complete construction of the Montego Bay, Port Maria, and Yallahs fire stations. Among other things, it will also finance work to complete the Port Royal Street Street Coastal Revetment, Kingston, and facilitate training on the new building codes by institutions such as Heart, Mind, and UTech.
We have commenced a gradual and controlled process of getting our economy back to full production and to give all Jamaicans the opportunity to earn their livelihoods while protecting their health.
What a way you're full of our roots and culture. That was in Jamaica 60. Jamaica 60? What a piece of news, Miss Matty. I feel like my heart going bust up.
Just in, the island of Jamaica is on the verge of celebrating its 60th year of independence.
A whole way of celebrating it. They say the people them, them come here, But you see, when our people decide, say the other people them free paper, them say if it's war, start it, whatever. We all collect medal panta for it,
medal.
Amount of tongue we give them,
The celebrations are slated to begin on January 1st, 2022. Organized by the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. We have more in this report.
On site and planning activities are ablaze. Persons are advised to download the Reggae Jamaica app to know what it pre. Activities for the Jamaica 60 celebration.
Download the app to get the updates then.
We said let's make Mondays about welcoming new opportunities, right? Well, how about a big one? Owning your very own home. No, it won't happen in a day, but you can start the process or just the planning today. Let's see how to do that through the National Housing Trust.
Now is the time to build house. Now is the time to buy house. Now is the time to make that critical investment in your life.
If you're thinking of answering the Prime Minister's call, look no further than the National Housing Trust, NHT.
The NHT is following the mandate that they have been given, which is build house, build house, build house, and don't stop build house.
That's right. Since 1976, the National Housing Trust has been providing affordable housing solutions to Jamaicans. Established through an amendment to the National Insurance Act of 1976, the trust was formed by way of partnership between the government and public sector workers. The aim? To increase the housing stock available while providing financial assistance to the neediest contributors. Persons are able to build, buy, or repair their homes through the NHT by making contributions. That is, funds are deducted from one's pay in this revolving loan scheme.
Since 1976, we are proud to say that we've housed well over 200,000 Jamaicans and provided well over 100 housing schemes across Jamaica.
Persons may realize their homeownership dreams with the NHT by two main avenues. First, the trust develops housing units or serviced lots. Currently, there are over 40 such projects underway across the island. The NHT also provides mortgage financing for Jamaicans seeking to build or buy houses, purchase land, or make repairs on existing homes.
While we're not a regulator, we have different partnerships between developers, between contractors, between financiers in the market as well to see how best we can improve the overall aesthetics and the overall housing product, whether it be public or even private as well.
As a result, contributors can combine funds received from the NHT with that of private financiers. And the trust has also entered into agreements with developers to give even greater access to home ownership. In addition to partnering on the construction of houses, NHT makes lands available for developers to build houses.
One of our newer programs that we are particularly proud of is our Guaranteed Purchase Program, GPP for short, where we actually liaise with developers who have projects themselves that they have built and have brought out of the ground or they are about to do construction on. And what the NHT does in those instances is the NHT buys the units from the developers and make them available to our contributors. And we think it's a good one because it's a win-win-win situation because the developers win, they are good at building. And so they're able to do it at a faster pace, but they are not good at selling. They're not marketers. And the NHT, as you know, has a ready market, so the NHT can take those from the developers. The mortgagors win because they get these units at NHT's preferential interest rates as opposed to buying them on the open market. And the NHT wins because we get the actual units that we know our contributors want.
thinking of realizing your homeownership dream with the NHT, think on these things.
Once you're a contributor, the NHT will assist you. So we always say start with the NHT, but really and truly it involves research. And we find that persons sometimes jump into the housing business and then they get frustrated after a couple weeks or a couple months because they're not quite prepared as to what to expect. So we say come in, sit down, have a conversation with us, see what the loan products are, see what the interest rates are, see what your general mortgage options are. You may want to buy, but in that discussion you realize that you have some piece of land that has been passing through your family and there's a title for it. You probably want to build instead because that could turn out much cheaper than actually having to buy. So start with that conversation with the NHT, and our officers, they are always well equipped to guide you through the process. As you go through the process, there are different requirements, whether you're building or you're buying, that you will have to satisfy. But generally we want to know that you're able to afford a mortgage. So we will look at your affordability, which is a big part of it. So look at how much you earn, look at what interest rate that goes along with that income, with as low as 0%. So you want to ensure that you tap into what benefits you can get from the NHT. And then we have partnerships with other mortgage institutions. So if you want beyond the NHT's limit of 6.5 million, we have a one-stop shop where you can just partner with any of the other institutions, and we facilitate that process for you as well. So do the research, see where you are, see what the options are, and just come in, have a conversation with the NHT, have a conversation with your realtor, have a conversation with your mortgage provider, and just stick to the process. It generally takes about 90 days. So manage those expectations and ensure that you hire competent professionals to guide you through each step of the process, whether you're building, whether you're buying a house or you're buying land. Ensure you hire, can't stress that enough, qualified, competent individuals to guide you.
If you're in the market for a place to call home, here are some of the NHT projects that will be ready soon. Industry Cove in Hanover, Perth Estate in Manchester, Money Musk in Clarendon, Silverson Estate Phase 2 in St. Catherine, and Ruthven Towers in Kingston and St. Andrew. For further information on NHT products, be sure to visit nht.gov.jm or your local parish office. Contact customer care, We Care at nht.gov.jm or call 876-929-6500 Your housing dream might just be a call away.
It's the last day of Reggae Month, so we're feeling nostalgic. Let's dip into our archives and revisit the birth of this musical gift and its reception among the people, then and now.
From deep within the archives, on reels no longer supported by the platforms of a technological modernization in the transmission of sounds and images, comes the story of a people and their relationship with the music they have bred.
Reggae music is bass, brother.
Yes, sir.
Reggae music is roots.
Not the dread.
Yes, sir. Is our kind of music that, brother? What me say?
If reggae can ever be edged to a set place, then 13 Brentford Road is its home. It was here at Studio One in 1968 that Rocksteady briefly went back 20 years, married the folk rhythms of Mento, and gave birth to reggae.
The new art form experienced its share of birthing pains as the so-called elites of society struggled to accept its revolutionary presence, while those from whose experiences it sprung cleaved onto this evolution in expression.
Reggae music is something that I think most of our people are ashamed of. I don't know why this should be, because it is coming from our roots. So much people are naked like them shame.
I agree.
Truly.
Sure, them just shame of what truly belongs to them. What me say?
That's what we steal sometimes, do I?
Truly.
Well, I think that the rhythm is very good, and
We like it a lot in Jamaica here.
As myself coming from New York, I only thought that I would dig soul music, just, you know, funky music. But as I hear the reggae scene, reggae music, I like it.
I like reggae music very much because, right, it shows a lot of culture, right? It tells from the plantation days, the type of music the people used to sing, right? And it sort of reveal what really was going on in that time, right? Up till now, right?
It's something you can't just sit down and listen to. You have, you get the feeling to move.
Reggae music is our high style music. Same way like how soul music belongs to CS, reggae music belongs to GA. And my favorite artist are Bob Marley and the Wailers. Probably because it's part of me, and we create it, I don't know. But I think I enjoy playing reggae very much. I really dig reggae music, but whenever time I hear reggae music, I feel like dancing,
I'm in a dancing mood.
Generations later, and the narrative retains echoes of past sentiments with the addition of new layers.
Reggae change, I can't say like it changed a bit, but still reggae beat. The old one is better, the new one not much to me. I just love the old stuff.
When I'm working, I listen to my music, keep me going,
If me go dance on them music that I'm play, me not really stay there.
It means everything. It's a part of Jamaicans' history, so it defines who we are as Jamaicans.
It means everything. It means love, it means peace, it means understanding.
Reggae is a lifestyle. Reggae is a lifestyle, Jamaican lifestyle. Yeah, even the lifestyle you live, because even they tell you in the farm, you work hard every day, hustle hard every day, and the music says reggae. So, reggae is life, man,
Reggae has become what some prophesied, a few decried, and almost none could truly imagine.
Reggae is no longer seen in the world as alternative music or third world music or new wave music.
It's doing good. I think a lot of guys who make a lot of money from it, but it is good. I think maybe probably next to tourism.
People know Jamaica not only for our sand, sun and beach, but they know us for our music. So when you go abroad and people be like, you're from Jamaica, you know Bob Marley, you know such and such, all because of our music. So reggae is our definition of Jamaica.
It is the strongest component in the brand Jamaica construct.
Reggae artists and those who specialize in its offshoot dancehall have won major musical awards. In life and past death, its greatest ambassador retains an undeniable international presence that has demanded respect from world-renowned publications. Since 2009, the entire month of February has been dedicated to its celebration at home. It was instrumental in garnering capital Kingston the designation by UNESCO as a creative city of music. And in 2017, the Jamaican government submitted a nomination dossier to have reggae inscribed on UNESCO's representative list of intangible cultural heritage for humanity.
This international protection instrument will ensure that the origins of reggae and its derivatives are appropriately documented and safeguarded for present and future generations. It is fascinating to reminisce on the early days when Jamaican music struggled to germinate, and the pioneers were classified in some cases as undesirables right here at home.
But even then, in its infancy,
well, I think that reggae is a good music, here to stay, and I think reggae music belongs to us and we ought to show it, right?
And now,
reggae is hot commodity and the world has embraced it, but we are proud to declare that we still own it.
Respect must be given whenever respect is due. One more time, let's give it up for Jamaica and reggae music.
Well, just like that, the clock says we must close the curtains on this production. But don't worry, we open them again tomorrow for another show. If you're new here, you might not realize there's a treasure trove of other great shows on the JIS YouTube channel and our website. Links are on the screen. You should also be seeing links for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter pages. They are a constant stream of interaction, so join the community. Thanks for making it Jamaica Magazine today. I'm Audrey Williams. On behalf of the entire production crew, I wish you a great week ahead. See you next time.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.